Everybody wants the result. Nobody wants the repetition. Everybody wants the championship trophy. Nobody wants the thousands of invisible hours that came before it. Everybody wants the success story. Nobody wants the boring chapters that created it. And that's the problem. Most people are addicted to excitement. They chase motivation. They chase inspiration. They chase the feeling of progress. But the people who actually win, they learn to fall in love with consistency. Because consistency is boring. It's doing the same thing when you don't feel like doing it. It's showing up on ordinary days. It's putting in work when nobody is watching. And that's exactly why it works. Think about a soldier preparing for battle. He doesn't wait until war starts before he trains. Every morning he wakes up and repeats the basics. The same drills. The same exercises. The same discipline. Day after day. Month after month. Why? Because when the moment arrives, he doesn't rise to the occasion. He falls back on his training. Your life works the same way. When opportunities come, you won't magically become disciplined. You'll become who you've consistently practiced being. The strongest oak tree in the forest didn't become strong overnight. It survived thousands of storms. One storm at a time. One season at a time. Slowly. Patiently. The roots grew before anybody could see the results. And that's how your growth happens too. Most people quit because they don't see immediate progress. They go to the gym for 2 weeks. No transformation. They quit. They start a business for 3 months. No breakthrough. They quit. They start learning a skill. No mastery. They quit. What they don't realize is that success is often happening beneath the surface long before it becomes visible. The bamboo tree spends years developing underground before it shoots upward. For years it looks like nothing is happening. Then suddenly it explodes with growth. But the growth didn't happen overnight. The preparation did. That's what consistency does. It builds foundations nobody can see. And one day the results become impossible to ignore. There is a reason why lions dominate the jungle. Not because they're the biggest. Not because they're the fastest. Because every day they do what they were built to do. They hunt. They move. They survive. They don't negotiate with their feelings. Meanwhile, most people negotiate with themselves every day. I don't feel like it. Maybe tomorrow. Just one more day. And one more day becomes one more year. Then a lifetime of regret. The truth is simple. Your feelings are temporary. Your habits become your future. The person who wins isn't always the most talented. It's the one who keeps showing up after everybody else disappears. Imagine 2 men starting at the same line. One works intensely for a few days and then stops. The other works steadily every day. Nothing dramatic. Nothing flashy. Just consistency. At first, they look equal. Months later, the difference becomes obvious. Years later, they're living completely different lives. That's the power of consistency. Small actions repeated long enough become extraordinary results. The problem is that consistency doesn't look impressive in the moment. Nobody applauds you for waking up early for the 100th day. Nobody celebrates you for keeping promises to yourself. Nobody notices the quiet discipline. But that's where greatness is built. In silence. In repetition. In the moments where nobody is watching. Fire doesn't become powerful because it burns bright for 1 minute. It becomes powerful because it keeps burning. A river doesn't carve through rock because it's stronger than the rock. It wins because it never stops flowing. Consistency beats intensity. Every single time. The world celebrates overnight success. But almost every overnight success took years. Years of failure. Years of practice. Years of boring repetition. The audience only sees the final chapter. They never see the thousands of pages written before it. That's why you must stop comparing your beginning to someone else's ending. Focus on your process. Focus on your next step. Focus on today's work. Because the man who wins isn't obsessed with results. He's obsessed with the process. He understands something most people never learn. Results come and go. Systems remain. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline remains. Feelings come and go. Standards remain. And your standards determine your future. Some mornings you'll feel unstoppable. Other mornings you'll feel weak. Consistency doesn't care. The work still needs to get done. That's why successful people don't rely on motivation. They rely on routines. They rely on systems. They rely on habits. Because habits continue when motivation disappears. There will be days when progress feels invisible. Days when you wonder if any of it matters. Days when you feel stuck. Good. That's where most people quit. And that's why you cannot. Because every day you continue is another day your competition gives up. Every day you stay disciplined is another day your future gets stronger. Every day you show up is another brick added to your foundation. Brick by brick. Rep by rep. Day by day. The gap begins to grow. One day people will look at your success and call you lucky. They'll say you were gifted. But you'll know the truth. While they were waiting for motivation, you were working. While they were looking for shortcuts, you were showing up. While they were quitting, you stayed consistent. And that's why you won. Not because you were special. Not because you were lucky. Because you refused to stop. Because you understood that consistency is boring. But consistency creates confidence. Consistency creates discipline. Consistency creates greatness. And most importantly, consistency creates results. So stop looking for excitement. Stop looking for the perfect moment. Stop looking for motivation. Show up. Do the work. Repeat. Again tomorrow. Again next week. Again next month. Because the life you want is waiting on the other side of consistent action. And every day you stay committed, you're getting closer. If this message lit a fire in you, then it's time to act. Drop this in the comments right now. I stay consistent no matter what. So that I know you stayed all the way till the end. And you will build unstoppable momentum and achieve the results you deserve.